An interesting investigation led the FBI to search the home of Rick Harrison, a famous porn stars figure. They didn't find gold or old watches. Instead, they found a secret basement full of unbelievable riddles. Initial reports say that this basement has encrypted data files, security camera systems, and signs that someone used to live there or be held there. A lot of people are confused and have a lot of questions about these hints. Is this a complex plot that has been kept secret the whole time? Also, Rick Harrison used to be loved by the crowd. Could he be involved in something darker than we thought? But it's also possible that this is all a big mistake, or even a plan to get a famous person in trouble. The truth is still being looked into. Come watch this video with us as we look into the shocking facts of this case. A place where the difference between fame and shame can be erased in an instant. At a very specific time in the morning, the FBI broke into Rick Harrison's house without warning. The timing was carefully thought out to make sure that no proof was lost or stolen. Rick was put down in the master bedroom on the second floor, 38 seconds after the front door was broken into. He kept asking to see a lawyer and saying he had no idea what was going on, while he was barely dressed and caught off guard. What the FBI did bring, though, was not empty. With a legal search warrant and a clear list of targets, such as computers, banking records, and possible assets that had not been reported, the search was done quickly. At the same time, 2 other people in the house were also arrested and questioned. 2 people, a woman in her early 30s and an older guy dressed as a military officer, carrying an unregistered cell phone. It's important to note that neither of these guys legally lived in the United States and were thought to be helping out with a complicated scheme that Rick was supposedly a part of. An unexpected finding, on the other hand, changed the whole course of the probe. There was a secret metal door in the office on the first floor that was hidden behind a fake bookshelf. This wasn't shown on any of the blueprints or remodeling papers that the FBI had seen. At first, Rick said he had never seen the door, but the multi-point biometric locking system, which used fingerprints, retinal scans, and heat sensors, quickly made people suspicious. The machine could only find one person, and that was Rick Harrison. He didn't want to put his hand on the login device, but he did it anyway when asked. The door opened and led the agents down a dark spiral staircase to a basement that wasn't part of the legal file and was totally separate from everything else. The area below shocked everyone on the research team. A room that is strongly built with steel and concrete, has its own airflow system and magnetic locks that meet the requirements of high-security facility. Initial assessments by technical experts say that this area is soundproof and can block electronic waves, which are qualities that are usually only found in highly classified buildings. The study has changed from a regular check to figuring out what a purpose-built underground system is all about, where every little thing shows a sense of privacy and very careful planning. Now, the question is, what is really going on behind the friendly TV face that people used to trust? An anonymous expert in investigating illegal activities said that it is very unusual for a famous person like Rick Harrison to have a basement that is built to be very secure and soundproof. This could even be seen as a clear warning sign. In the past, these kinds of places were used for shady things like moving goods, storing things whose origins were unknown, or even as brief control points in complicated networks. The agents who went into the basement found a lot of specialized electronics, encrypted papers, and what might have been signs that the room was used for strict control. The police who were there said that this could be the start of one of the biggest cases they have ever worked on. The whole house was locked up tight right after the raid. Teams from forensics, digital, and special operations were sent to the scene. Rick Harrison was sent to a federal prison without bail while an investigation is going on. The first evidence that was seized was encrypted and categorized. It included dozens of hard drives, financial papers, and other strange items. The interior camera system was one of the most important things that was found. The FBI says that the video recorded from this could reveal a number of important facts and could even change the whole direction of the case. Right away after finding the hidden metal door that led to the basement, the Advanced Investigations Division quickly sent out a special technical team. Even though Rick had to first prove his identity to the biometric locking system, the experts were able to finally get past the security and enter very carefully. Standard FBI practice says that any underground building found in a residential area that doesn't seem to have a clear purpose is likely to be used for dangerous activities, such as storing illegal items or setting up biological, chemical, or other types of containment systems. So before going into the underground area, the forensic team puts on all of their safety gear and checks for biological toxic gas and radiation. The basement of Rick's house is not like any other room for storage or leisure. It's 3,000 square feet, which is about half the size of the ground floor. There are 3 separate areas in the building: a center operations area, a high-security storage area, and an area that is thought to have been used for detention or other close-quarters control. All of these factors make me wonder about a lot of things. Is this just a strange accident, or is it a key part of a bigger plan? All eyes are now on the investigation, and in the days to come, the story behind the secret basement will likely get even stranger. There were no decorations or windows in the basement, and the whole floor was made of bare concrete. The only light came from fluorescent tubes that were directly connected to the steel frames in the ceiling. The room was cold and felt like a military lab or a top-secret data control center. Investigators found what looked like a command center with a bunch of computers, each with 2 to 4 monitors that could be controlled by separate people. More than 16 TVs were sending live video streams at the same time. The investigators were most interested in at least 6 monitors that showed video from unknown places, none of which matched the current house. These monitors showed angles from the garage or rooms in the basement. Analysts say that these pictures might have come from places that weren't on site but were set up for remote tracking. Agents also found a system on the console that had encryption tools, a military-grade Wi-Fi router, a high-safety server, and an electronic safe built into the floor. Inside, they took 12 USB drives, 5 solid-state drives, and 2 special recording cards that are usually found in surveillance gear. They sent all the data to the Federal Digital Analysis Lab so that it could be saved again. An investigator said the devices might not have just been keeping personal information. They could have been the heart of a very complicated operating system. In a storage area next door, rows of steel shelves with barcodes on them held hundreds of old hard drives in antibatic wrapping. Each one had a coded mark on it, like E419K or SLV923. It's not clear what they mean, but could have something to do with place, date, or identifying a person. The drives were protected by passwords and 256-bit AES encryption, which made getting to the data hard to do and time-consuming. Experts got chills when they saw the area that was thought to have been used to temporarily separate the subject. The 15-mission square meter room was made of concrete and had no noise coming through at all. It didn't have any windows or cameras, but it did have its own air system and a lock that could be opened from the outside. A toilet, a bed frame welded to the floor, and an iron chain connected to the wall were the only things found in the room. The research team found a worn-out fabric bracelet on the chain that might have belonged to a child. They found what they thought was dried blood on the floor and hair clumps in a corner under special lighting. One experienced agent said, "I've been a part of more than 30 investigations involving underground facilities, but I've never seen one that was so precisely and systematically planned." This wasn't just one person's impulsive job, it was the result of a well-thought-out plan. The task force came to the conclusion that the underground facility was not only built to avoid being found, but it was also designed to be operated from afar, store highly sensitive data, and allow hidden management of the whole system. The only thing that's left is a big question, and in the years to come, it could answer even more shocking things. Forensically, what was found in the bunker opened up a new line of inquiry. It suggested that there was a well-organized secret network that Rick Harrison may have been in charge of. Experts say that the building and running of such a facility, which has silent rooms, high security systems, and encryption devices, make it very hard to believe what its real purpose is. Using digital data, financial records, and high-tech equipment for gathering intelligence, the investigation team came to the conclusion that the case may involve a number of major violations, such as unlawful detention, invasion of privacy, and the ability to hide illegal activity. One of the most shocking things about this is that the person in question is a star, someone who most people trust. The case is now more interesting and complicated because of that. According to Thomas Kleen, a criminal law professor at Yale, if the rumors are true, This is not only a suspicious place, but also a sign of how public image can be used to hide bad behavior. The search was over at 3 a.m. the next day. Using 3D scanning technology, the whole scene was recorded and thorough records were put together. All the information was put into 3 groups. Group A is for digital information, Group B is for biological samples, and Group C is for gadgets that might be used for monitoring and controlling things. Before leaving the scene, the technical team turned off the basement's electricity and put in alarms to stop people from getting in. The investigation has now moved on to phase 2, where the roots of the people involved are being looked into, and the network that may have been working behind the scenes for years are being looked into in more detail. What's interesting is that it all started with a single email, not a big probe or a shocking news story. The email was sent to Agent Lee Cortez, who has worked for the FBI in Las Vegas before. The subject line was easy to understand. Pawn Star isn't what you think it is. The text was short and awkward, but there was a blurry picture of Rick Harrison in a bar with an older guy wearing dark glasses attached. Roman Zavich's face was quickly recognized as that of someone who had been being watched for years because of possible ties to foreign crime rings. Not only did the picture catch Cortez's eye, but so did the fact that the information in the email was correct. The sender, who gave his name as JM, said he worked in logistics and had seen a lot of strange deliveries in a certain area of Henderson. He gave such a thorough account that it could be checked. The last line of the email had a scary message: "Check out the basement. You'll see the truth." At first, the investigation team was wary because of Rick Harrison's status and image. That being said, after 48 hours of initial research and confirmation, the Federal Human Trafficking Unit officially began a preliminary probe with strict rules of privacy. From an unknown email that didn't seem trustworthy, they set off a chain of events that led to a shocking finding. The complicated network was slowly being taken apart, and this was just the start of the trip. His immigration papers were checked as the first part of the investigation. As a seller in antiques and goods between countries, he should have done a lot of traveling around the world. But Rick hadn't been outside of the US in 5 years, according to the records. Not a single private airline flight, not a single immigration stamp, and no foreign flights. But business accounts related to Rick showed a different picture. There were transfers of hundreds of thousands of dollars to companies in Prague, Bangkok, and Tijuana, all of which have been linked to foreign crime. Because of these discrepancies, detectives thought that the transactions might have been done by someone else, or under a different name.